The directive came not as a suggestion, but as a decree delivered over a painfully modest dinner at my fiancé Mark's family home. His mother, Brenda, pushed away her plate and announced that our wedding should be a simple, low-key affair at the local community hall. She cited humility and fiscal responsibility as their core family values, her eyes sharp and assessing as they locked on to mine. A real, lasting marriage isn't built on floral arrangements and fancy china, Sarah, she stated, her tone leaving no room for argument. It's built on genuine love, not a lavish performance for others. She called it a test of priorities, a way to ensure my commitment to Mark was pure, untainted by materialism. The word test hung in the air, sour and condescending. I was stunned into silence. Mark, sitting beside me, simply stared at his lap, his jaw tight but his voice utterly absent. I had dreamed of my wedding day my entire life, not necessarily an obscenely expensive one, but one filled with beauty, joy, and the people I loved celebrating in a warm, elegant space. The community hall was drafty, smelled of stale coffee, and had fluorescent lighting that washed everyone out. This felt less like a recommendation and more like a punishment for a crime I hadn't committed. Later that night, alone with Mark in the car, my composure broke. "A test?" I asked, my voice trembling with a mixture of hurt and anger. "What does that even mean? Do they think I'm some kind of gold digger?" Mark reached for my hand, his own feeling clammy. "Baby, just please play along," he begged, his voice strained. "It's just their way. They're old-fashioned and cautious. If we do this their way, we prove them wrong, and then we'll have their full support. It's just one day." His plea felt weak, a betrayal of our shared dreams. I felt utterly alone, my vision for our beginning crumbling to dust. The following weeks were a masterclass in misery under Brenda's meticulous supervision. Every idea I tentatively offered was shot down with surgical precision. The dress? A simple linen sundress from a department store clearance rack will do. The flowers? Potted geraniums from the garden are cheerful and free. The food? A potluck, she declared with finality, where everyone brings a dish. It builds community. Each concession felt like a small death of my spirit. Mark echoed his mother at every turn, his mantra a broken record of, "Keep the peace, Sarah, just keep the peace." The breaking point came on a Tuesday evening. I had gone to their house to drop off some paperwork Brenda had demanded to see, proof of the community hall's deposit. Letting myself in through the always unlocked side door, I heard her voice, bright and laughing, carrying from the kitchen. I froze just outside the doorway, hidden by the wall, as I heard her say, "Oh, it's priceless, truly. She's practically wilting with every paper plate we suggest." I held my breath, my heart hammering against my ribs. She was on the phone with her sister. "Of course we can afford a grand wedding. We're not paupers," she chirped, confirming my deepest suspicion. "This is simply about ensuring Sarah isn't a gold digger before we welcome her into the family fortune. It's a classic test of character, and she's failing miserably by complaining." The words hit me like a physical blow. A family fortune? A classic test? It was a calculated, malicious game, and I was the mouse in their maze. Worse than her words was the sound of Mark's voice in the background, slightly muffled. "Mom, come on, don't gloat. It's almost over." He knew it. He had always known it. His pleas for me to play along weren't about peace. They were about me passing their vile, secret initiation rite. I backed out of the house silently, my tears now ones of pure, unadulterated rage. I drove home in a blur, my mind reeling, the entire foundation of my relationship shaking apart. That night I confronted Mark. I didn't scream or cry. I was chillingly calm as I repeated her mother's words verbatim. He crumpled, his excuses pathetic. "They made me promise not to tell. They said if you really loved me, the wedding wouldn't matter. I thought once we were married, it would all be okay." He was a boy, trapped under the thumb of his manipulative parents, and in that moment I saw our future clearly. A lifetime of tests, of never being good enough, of him never choosing me. A cold, steely resolve settled over me. They wanted a test? Fine, they would get one, but I would be writing the rules. I broke off the engagement that night. Or, more accurately, I suspended it. We are not getting married next week, Mark, but we might in the future. If you ever grow a spine, right now I need to handle your family. He was too shocked and ashamed to argue. The next morning, I called in sick to work and embarked on my mission. I accessed every savings account, every investment portfolio, every bit of money I had worked tirelessly for since I was 16. I was a successful financial analyst. I was not poor. I booked the most exclusive, luxurious waterfront venue in the city for a date 3 months away, paying the exorbitant fee in full without a flinch. I hired a brilliant, discreet planner and told her a simplified version of the story. Her eyes widened with sympathetic fury, and she became my co-conspirator. We designed a stunning event, a cathedral of fresh white orchids, a string quartet, a 5-course meal prepared by a celebrity chef, and an open bar featuring vintage champagne. It was everything they thought I wasn't worthy of, and everything I could damn well provide for myself. Then I sent out the new invitations. They were heavy, creamy cardstock, embossed with elegant silver script. They specified a black-tie dress code, and most importantly, a very strict no +1s policy. The guest list was meticulously curated. My family, my friends, my colleagues. Mark's name was on the invitation, but the names of his parents, his siblings, his aunts, uncles, and cousins were conspicuously absent. I invited Mark to my apartment and laid it all out for him. "This is the wedding," I said, showing him the plans. "I am paying for it. It is happening. Your family is not invited. They failed my test of basic human decency. You can come as my groom if you choose me, truly choose me, or you can stay with them." It was the ultimate ultimatum, and the power had irrevocably shifted. The week of the wedding was a whirlwind. My side was buzzing with excited anticipation. On his side, there was only a deafening, furious silence. They had received their non-invitations and had been trying desperately to contact both of us, their messages escalating from confused to irate to downright threatening. Mark, to his immense credit, finally blocked their numbers. He moved in with a friend, and we began the painful, tentative process of rebuilding trust. The day of the wedding dawned bright and clear. I felt a serene power, not a shred of bridal anxiety. As I slipped into my exquisite, custom-designed gown, I wasn't a pawn anymore. I was a queen claiming her throne. I hired a discreet security team for the venue, and I gave them a photograph of Mark's family with clear instructions. Sure enough, as I was about to walk myself down the aisle, a choice I made to symbolize my independence, I saw a commotion at the back of the venue through a crack in the door. His parents, his brother, and a few others had arrived, faces purple with outrage. They were stopped by a large, calm security guard. I watched as his father, Robert, was handed a single elegant envelope. He ripped it open, and I saw his eyes scan the note I had written weeks before. It read, "Your test is over. You failed. Enjoy the cheap evening you wanted so badly elsewhere." The look of utter apoplectic shock on his face was more satisfying than any wedding cake. The ceremony was profound. Mark's eyes were full of tears, not of fear, but of awe and love and regret. He whispered his vows, his voice thick with emotion, and I knew in that moment he had finally chosen me. The reception was a sparkling, joyful celebration, utterly perfect in every way. Just as we were about to share our first dance, the doors to the ballroom burst open. Robert stood there, his suit rumpled, his eyes wild with fury. The music screeched to a halt. "You ungrateful, manipulative little witch! You have humiliated this family for the last time. Mark, you are not my son any longer. You are cut off. You will not see a single cent of the family money. You are dead to us." A dead silence fell over the entire ballroom. Every guest stared. I felt Mark tense beside me. I gently squeezed his hand, stepped forward, and looked his father directly in the eye, a calm, cold smile on my lips. "Don't worry, darling," I said, my voice clear and carrying to every corner of the silent room. "My love was never for sale, and my success can support us both, something your family's money clearly can't buy." The silence broke into a wave of applause and supportive cheers from my guests. Robert stood there, deflated and utterly defeated, before the security team gently but firmly escorted him out. We turned back to each other, and as the music swelled again, we danced, truly free, ready to build a new family legacy of our own.